Ms. Shah, we were just breaking this piece of information for our viewers right now that there has been a CBI inquiry ordered by the government right now. They have consented to the demand for a CBI inquiry. How do you look at it? What can we expect now as far as the legal proceedings are concerned? How is it going to be different from what was being carried out so far?
See, the very first step here would be an independent, fair investigation. We need to understand that first few hours after a death are very, very crucial in terms of forensics. Now, here we have seen that there have been a lot of lapses in terms of be it pertaining to the belt, be it pertaining to conducting the autopsy, the marks on the body, the matching of ligature marks with the belt that was used for hanging, all of that has gone missing, and we already know that her body is decomposing. So I am of the understanding that it will lead to a lot of loss of evidence, because see, the entire idea of having an independent body is to have a fair investigation and proper collection of evidence.
Okay.
The CBI had to be brought into
Okay,
picture
Ms.
only
Shah,
because
sorry,
of
I
the
have to
mistake.
interject. Hold that thought. I will come back to you to complete that chain of thoughts. But I'm also joined by Shubham Gupta, our colleague on ground. Shubham, ये बताइए अभी क्या स्थिति है? ट्विशा शर्मा की फैमिली काफी दिन से सीबीआई इंक्वायरी की डिमांड कर रही है। गवर्नमेंट ने अब उस सीबीआई इंक्वायरी के ऊपर मोहर लगा दिया गया है। अभी आगे हम लोग और क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं?
देखिए, 2 दिन पहले ही मुख्यमंत्री मोहन यादव से ट्विशा की फैमिली ने मुलाकात की थी और ये रिक्वेस्ट की थी कि इस पूरे मामले की सीबीआई जांच होनी चाहिए। आखिरकार मुख्यमंत्री ने माना है और सीधे सिफारिश की है गृह विभाग से कि इस पूरे मामले की सीबीआई जांच करवाई जाए। हालांकि ये बात गिरिबाला सिंह से भी जब हमने पूछी थी कि परिवार कह रहा है सीबीआई जांच होनी चाहिए, तो उन्होंने भी कहा था कि वो खुद चाहेंगे कि इस पूरे मामले की सीबीआई जांच हो जाए। तो ऐसा नहीं था कि गिरिबाला सिंह की ओर से या उनके वकील की ओर से मना किया जा रहा हो। वहां से भी ये बात आई थी कि सीबीआई जांच होती है तो हमें किसी तरह की कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी। आज जो है वो 3 चीजें मुख्य हैं। हाईकोर्ट में इसे लेकर सुनवाई है। सबसे पहली, गिरिबाला सिंह को जो अग्रिम जमानत भोपाल जिला कोर्ट की ओर से दी गई थी, उसको चुनौती दी गई है कि जिस तरह की धाराएं हैं उसके बीच में इस तरह से जमानत नहीं दी जा सकती। दूसरी, जो समर सिंह को उनकी जो अग्रिम जमानत याचिका खारिज हुई है, उसको भी चुनौती दी गई है गिरिबाला सिंह के वकील की ओर से कि हाईकोर्ट में कि इनको अग्रिम जमानत मिलना चाहिए। और तीसरी चीज जो है वो पोस्टमार्टम को लेकर है, क्योंकि भोपाल जिला कोर्ट ने पोस्टमार्टम को लेकर इनकार कर दिया था, दूसरे पोस्टमार्टम की जरूरत नहीं है, तो उसे भी चैलेंज किया गया है हाईकोर्ट में कि दूसरा पोस्टमार्टम होना चाहिए, क्योंकि ट्विशा की बॉडी को 8 से 9 दिन हो गए हैं तब से ही वो भोपाल एम्स में रखी हुई।
जी, अभी हम लोग क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं शुभम? क्या उसके सेकंड ऑटोप्सी के बारे में कोई ऐसी पहल हो रही है?
देखिए, सेकंड पीएम को लेकर तो चीजें मुश्किल है, क्योंकि जिस तरह से बॉडी भी डिकम्पोज हो रही है और जो कोर्ट ने कहा या पुलिस ने जो बताया कि -80 डिग्री की जरूरत है और अभी -4 डिग्री में जो है वो बॉडी रखी हुई है, तो ये सारी चीजें जो है वो रखी गई है। और इसी के आधार पर ये कहा गया पुलिस से कि आप जो है ऐसी व्यवस्था कीजिए, मध्य प्रदेश में ढूंढिए। हालांकि मध्य प्रदेश में कोई भी ऐसा हॉस्पिटल नहीं है जहां पर इस तरह की व्यवस्था हो -80 डिग्री की, जहां पर बॉडी को रखा जा सके।
जी जी, बिल्कुल शुक्रिया शुभम हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए और सारी अहम जानकारी साझा करने के लिए। I'll go back to my guest this afternoon, Sonali Shah. You've heard my colleague also saying that there is all arrangements put in place to ensure that her body is preserved. Whether there can be a second autopsy or not, which is also another demand of the family, that remains to be seen. However, you were making a point over there, Ms. Shah, please go ahead.
So I'm reiterating that the first few hours of forensic investigation after the death are very, very crucial. We have already lost considerable amount of time. Even there has been dispute pertaining to timestamps on CCTV footage, which is one of the very crucial evidence, because the CCTV footage that we get to see circulating is wherein Twisha goes upstairs and then she comes. In a while we see that she's being carried by a few men together. So this loss of time is going to have an impact on this investigation. The entire idea of having a CBI is to have an independent investigation and appropriate collection of evidence, because ultimately the trial is going to depend on the evidences at hand, irrespective of what you and me think, irrespective of that chats indicating that there was a marital discord or there was a demand for dowry or she was being harassed, irrespective of how does the CCTV footage look. It needs to be proved in the court. And we are losing time every moment, and we are losing evidence, which is going to have its own impact at the time of trial.
Absolutely. Brijesh, we are going to be looking at this from a whole different perspective now. The lapses that was being carried out as pointed by Sonali Shah as far as the time code stamp on the CCTV camera, the fact that the belt wasn't produced for forensic examination, the marks on her body, all these are areas of concern that would perhaps beg an answer from the family that has been demanding so far. But now with the CBI inquiry, what can we expect as far as the course of action here on is concerned? Step by step, how is it going to be different from the ongoing investigation that is being carried out by the Bhopal police?
Well, I think, the most important would be that they would not be under any kind of influence as far as, either Giribala side or any other side would be. And the fact of the matter is that, I completely agree with what our guest was saying, that, how the first few hours are extremely crucial in terms of forensic investigation, and how it was kind of botched up by the local police. But I think, the team which led the entire investigation, and which did the initial investigation, they all will be also be subject to intense scrutiny by the CBI, because the CBI would first want to get a sequence of event as to what exactly happened on the night when Twisha Sharma committed suicide, and also the fact that what exactly led to this particular suicide, who she spoke to, how many phone numbers she had, and what was the kind of relationship between her and her mother-in-law and her husband, and whether there was a history of marital discord. So I think the first and most important thing is that they will be trying to establish a sequence of events which can point to an absolute clarity as to what exactly was the trigger that night which led her to take her life, and also the fact that whether the investigation that has been come was intentionally botched up, or was it unfortunately but a glaring error of lapse as far as the local police is concerned. And they would also be talking to the medical team which has conducted the first post-mortem report, and it'll be interesting to see what
Right.
the High Court says today about the second autopsy.
Right. Brijesh, thank you for that insight. I'm also joined by our another guest. Joining us this afternoon is Mr. IPS Officer Gurinder Singh Dhillon, former, ADGP Law and Order Punjab. Mr. Dhillon, thank you for taking your time and joining me here at Newsline. We are talking about a very, very crucial story, and we have got a piece of breaking news that we have gotten to our viewers right now, is that the government has consented to a CBI inquiry in Twisha Sharma's case. I want to ask you, Mr. Dhillon, that as far as your ongoing investigation is concerned that was being carried out by the Bhopal police, there are several areas of concern. It appears to be a botched up investigation from the start itself, whether not procuring the belt in question that was used as a noose by Twisha Sharma as claimed by the family of Samar Singh, the fact that Samar Singh is missing, the bruises on her body, the fact that the mother-in-law has not been called so far for the investigation or questioning, and the influence that the mother-in-law is trying to exert on this entire investigation. How do you look at that so far, and your views on the CBI inquiry now being ordered? Mr. Dhillon.
Okay, thank you for having me. Good afternoon, and to fellow panelists also and viewers also. First of all, it's a very good point. Rather, it gives me a great satisfaction that the government has recommended that CBI may do the inquiry, and I'm sure Government of India will take call on this, and the investigation will be transferred, because this is the most talked about case in the last few decades, and it is very important that investigation is done in a very fair manner, because the stakes are very high. And I'm sure once the case is formally handed over to CBI, CBI will be registering a separate case, and I'm sure they will cover all the things which were left behind, or either intentionally or unintentionally, because there are very, very critical sequence things which happened. For example, if the girl died by hanging, why was her body removed from the place without calling police? Secondly, why was delay in reporting to the police? And thirdly, is there any evidence that the scene of crime was intentionally destroyed? And was there any scientific evidence lost? And thirdly, why is that this lady kept on moving and with continued offenses, Madam Giribala? So all this, I think, will be taken care of by CBI. And I know CBI is an independent agency. It will not be influenced by the state government or anybody influenced in Madhya Pradesh. And I am sure this is a good development and this will help the victim family. And they will also be satisfied. And of course, they will have to pursue it to the court that this case is taken to the final judgment and the accused are brought to justice.
Absolutely. That has been the intention at the end of the day, Mr. Dillon, that the accused should be brought to justice. But there has been a delay that the family has been trying to endure as far as even listening to them, their demands being paid heed to. But as far as the circumstantial evidence is concerned, the manner in which the mother-in-law Giribala Singh has contacted several influential persons, Mr. Dillon, how do you look at this? Does all of this bear an impact on the ongoing investigation? There is clearly an attempt to exert influence.
Till now, whatever is in public domain, I am not privy to what happened with the police file. There is no doubt but that it is my fair judgment that there was intentional issues created with the file. There was destruction of evidence. There was obstruction caused. There was delay in reporting. Police registered FIR after 3 days of the crime. Police very well knew, and the Judge Giribala very well knew, that it is case of a married lady dying under unnatural circumstances in a matrimonial home. And law is very clear on that such cognizable cases can't be delayed. So all this and whatever has been done by police till now, which is in public domain, everything shows that everything was not normal and there was lot of influence going on. And the way this accused Giribala constantly kept on saying, repeating her statements on one channel or other channel, though she was on bail, everything clearly indicated that she was intimidating witnesses, she was influencing investigation, and she was even causing criminal defamation to the family who lost their daughter.